Hello and welcome to the I Know What I Got cast, or ICWIG if you're one of those people. Brought to you by Carvio. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined by our esteemed Ben's brothers themselves, Ben and David. I say that because at two different times, you both have owned a Mercedes. Incredible!
Oh, wow!
Now, David, I understand your name is second here because you were born second. Is that correct?
Yeah, alphabetically, and yeah, that as well. Mm-hmm.
Now, joining along with us is our favorite, even less embodied voice and co-producer, Chuck.
Hello!
That's him saying.
AKA The Chuckster, AKA Chuck Nasty, AKA Charles.
Don't call him Charles.
I didn't. I called him Charles.
With an H.
With a long H. Charles.
In this episode, you find out your mom's first car was actually considered a sport car at the time it was made, and not by broke kids 20 years later. You learn how big one of the Earth's largest islands really maybe is. And lastly, you'll want to look at subscribing to your car on the right day of the month, or your account won't have sufficient funds and your independence will be bricked. Starting off with the news, a lot has happened recently. We have heard from Cox chief automotive economist that we should hope to see used car prices fall a little more controlled or potentially even out and gain equilibrium as newer cars, used cars, hit the market and help bring up used car prices again. Seeing as the median new car price is still rising, it's not enough yet though. Dealers are still gun-shy on retail-ready vehicles as the market values continue to fall. This means dealers on a budget are looking to companies like Carvio, hey, that's us, to find them cheap cars to take a chance on fixing and turning a smaller profit on. Yeah, it's okay if your car is crap. I got my own share of lawn ornaments my relatives ask me about. We at Carvio know all about them. We also know who's willing to pay good money for them. So when it's time for it to go, call Carvio. Give us a shot and we'll give it all we got. Chuck, you got a jingle for us?
Yeah, so has the old Ford lost its focus? Carvio will get you money instead. When your car needs to go, go Carvio.
Go Carvio.
You guys are excellent writers.
And all we have to do is sit here and giggle at work. So I bet it's like the best job.
So, let's talk EVs for a minute here in the news, because frankly, that's all that there is in the news. In the last few years, auto manufacturers have, in efforts to make the world a better, more profitable place, pledged to make a certain amount of electric vehicles or otherwise sell only EVs in the northern US, Chinese, and or European markets by 2030 and 2035.
But Andrew, we know this. We hear it all the time.
Shut the and let me read. A Kia Toyota, yeah, Toyota with a D, the president said Toyota with a T, was made to step down as chief executive to be chairman. The reason? His visions did not align with the rest of the company's direction in going all electric. Toyota has only recently managed to join other manufacturers such as Volkswagen in the promise that most, if not all, of their units are being sold as electric vehicles. But that's the part everyone talks about. I had my partner in crime, Chuck, find out what exactly Akio's vision was. What do you think that was? I mean...
Motorsport.
Some guys like... Every manufacturer is moving to electronic cars. Phones, right?
Yep.
And this person who is head of the company that has, I think, won one WEC championship, the other one the transmission failed, you'd think you'd want to go electric after that. Why would his company tell him to stand down? And what is he thinking?
Like stopping making electric
Yes,
stuff?
he doesn't. He doesn't want that.
Doesn't want to make electric
he doesn't
cars?
want full electronic inventory, no.
Because isn't he like the great grandson of like the OG?
Toyota with a D?
Like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or maybe grandson. He's not that old. Like, let's be honest.
So-
but yeah, maybe he's just
I
wants
think he's
to
I think he
like
is
70
grandson.
Yeah, 66.
66?
So he's-
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the guy taking over is like 55 or something.
Is he another
Anyway,
Toyota with a D?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
guy taking
That's what he
over,
said.
it's all
No, no,
the
no, no,
family.
guy leaving his Toyota with a D.
Right, but is the guy taking
Toyota
over
with a
his
D
job like
is
his
being told
nephew
to
or
step down
something?
No,
and
he's the
becoming
Lex-
its chairman.
He was, the Lexus chairman.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
he's now chairman for Toyota.
Here's why I think he wouldn't want electric cars. Because, let's think about this. There's not enough infrastructure to charge them anywhere. Everyone's coming out with electric cars before there's, like, listen, there's a lot of gas stations. You can throw a rock, hit a gas station. Where we live, has a gas station on every corner. 4 corners, all gas stations. Different. United Oil, there's a 76, there's a Shell, and a Mobil, if I remember correctly.
Yes, with the subway.
None of
With
which,
Subway.
yes.
zero of those gas stations have a single electric car charger. There
Yeah.
are no electric car chargers anywhere but the mall. They put the ones in the building that I used to live in, that David still does live in, and they don't work yet. So they've
haven't been working for a
they've been in
while.
for 3 or 4 months, and they just haven't flipped the switch to turn them on. If you take an electric car and
Oh,
you
they didn't
let,
pay the subscription.
I guess not. Yeah, they
Exactly.
paid it on a Thursday, going into a holiday.
And there's
Didn't
still
work.
a Dodge Durango parked in those electric spaces
I
every
used to do
day.
that all the time at
I-
my old apartment, yeah. And then everybody started doing it.
And
I was the
everyone
guy
started
that was
doing
like,
it.
come on, man, nobody lives forever. And then everyone else joined in, and then they crashed down. A lot of people lost their cars that day.
A lot
Fine.
of good cars got taken onto the tow yard. Oh, you hate to see it.
A lot of good should have been
Take
used
our
with a
cars, but they'll
flatbed.
never take our
But
freedom.
yeah, I mean that's always been the problem with electric cars. They came out, everybody's like, oh, we got to do electric cars by 2035. Nobody ever thought we have to put electric car chargers
Well,
in by
but
2025.
I don't know why they're
Otherwise,
in apartments. Those people don't afford electric cars.
oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh,
My apartment is filled
this apartment
with
building has a
bunch of,
McLaren,
how do you say this
uh,
without getting us canceled in our first episode?
Don't even.
How about no? Hey, David.
Foreign
Yeah.
exchange students looking for a better education in America, whose families
well,
have a obscene amount of money.
Well said.
That's a strictly economic thing.
Yeah.
Well, but that's
true.
also because
Yeah,
they live
Because
in.
especially because we're around UCSD.
Yeah,
Indeed.
that's why they have
Yeah.
electric cars.
Yeah, you have a lot of
Lots of money.
That's also the forward-thinking policy of the college nearby, also, right, that's influencing people in the area to have charging ports, to do this, to do that.
Yes.
You'd like to think there's
Get
that
more
no-
grants for the college, it's not just the students, it's the colleges getting grants
Yeah.
and money from the government by putting these, and so like the same thing
Right.
with solar, the solar rush.
And then you can also charge.
Best
for
example of that.
storms.
Best example of that.
Storms.
The stickers you get on your Prius when you
Yeah.
want to drive in the carpool lane by yourself.
You can't get those on a Prius anymore. It's
You
gonna be
can. It has to be a different color though. You have to get a newer one. If you have like an '08 Prius, this shit doesn't count
Oh
anymore.
yeah, it has to be 09.
You have to like
Those are the
have.
plugins.
You have to like have the purple
Right.
sticker instead
Yeah,
of the
you have to
yellow
have like
sticker.
it's got to be electric. It can't just be a hybrid.
No,
or
it
I'd
can be
get a
hybrid,
sticker.
right? Or does that have to be all electric? It can be
all
hybrid.
electric.
All
It,
All
no,
electric,
it
yeah.
used to be
hybrid.
used to be hybrids when those first came out. The Prius was new, and then people started
You know
making electric
It
cars.
doesn't even matter. When
and
I
they
had to
changed
drive
it.
down the freeway, every single morning driving down here, anytime somebody passed me, they're the only ones in there, and it was just like
Yeah.
a Dodge Neon.
I just put my blow up doll in the passenger seat. Haven't had an issue yet.
So David,
Yes,
Sitting there
sir.
with her mouth open.
I don't know.
I guess you kind of like said it all.
I feel like I feel like Volkswagen has to be electric because they're like we've already done so many bad things. in the past.
apologize for Dieselgate.
Exactly.
It's the Dieselgate,
So-
I found it.
And like
Have they financially apologized for Dieselgate quite yet?
I think they're working
They
on.
have to pay like
Unlikely, I think they
$15
still
billion
have
dollars or
quite a
something
bit to pay
ridiculous.
It's worse than that airbag recall.
Didn't everyone
Maybe.
love the e-golf though
No, the
collectively?
airbag recall.
Yeah,
But-
looked good.
I thought
Everybody
Tobin's
loves-
mom has
yeah,
one.
e-golfs are
great. Like everyone loves them. Like
You know what
everyone who has
sucks?
them never sells them.
You know what sucks?
Servicing them
Stop
sucks.
looking
I
at
can
stop
tell
looking
that.
at Chuck.
You know what sucks?
He's the-
Chuck's a big Volkswagen guy, obviously.
That's not obvious.
I
It's
can
not
see
obvious,
it's
not
but
obvious.
Chuck's a big
Chuck-
Chuck
Volkswagen
likes
guy.
Volkswagens. Here's the thing. You know what sucks?
Let's produce
Electric
it.
cars. They've
Yeah.
never been good. Fiat 500e.
Never good.
Horrible.
No Fiat.
No, all trash.
Kind
So
of fun.
back to the question, David.
Yes. Oh,
Sorry.
Any ideas what Am I pronouncing his name correctly?
Akio?
Akio?
Yeah, Akio.
Sounds
Sure.
all right.
Yeah, I also say Achilles. Is that weird?
That's super wrong. That is incorrect. You sound
At least I
uncultured.
don't say
and-
Cavalier, you fucker.
Wait a
hey, man. You know, it's
Desecration.
you go to another country and that's how you say that word. What country? I don't know.
France?
That might be the one. Yep. Or any of their
What do you think
colonies.
Akio's vision is?
really great question. I don't know. Maybe like.
Well, that's why I had Chuck find out, so I'll tell you.
Hydrogen!
So, let me just find what the fuck I was here, because I did not mark that, and I'm still getting...
Andrew, you have
that.
2 pens. What kind of producer are you?
I'm co-producer, actually, so I'm not full producer. Well,
Fair.
Okay,
Chuck?
so
Okay.
now I'm gonna tell you.
Are ya?
What he gathered was that he still saw potential in gas-powered vehicles in what we North Americans and Europeans like to call the rest of the world.
ROW, baby. Let's go.
You see, the rest of the world has a very large population. It also has a massive amount of land that the population is very much spread out on. Probably the size of at least like 10 Australias, maybe 11 if you include Australia. Much of the world still lacks the infrastructure to support EVs. Some of these populations have scarce to no contact with the internet. Right? You ever see like people from India on the internet? No.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, people in India have internet. But do most of the people in India have internet? They don't have infrastructure.
no,
Most people live in the
You got
cities,
people
though.
in Canada who are still on dial-up.
Yeah.
that's unfortunate, but also probably true.
Faxes are still prevalent in
wouldn't,
Canada,
you know.
like usable. Like faxes, still a thing.
Oh, yo,
Even
fax.
in Ohio, hi, hold on, lived in our own country, lived in Ohio.
Yeah,
Fax
yeah,
is still
still,
a thing, from
yeah,
part store to
fax.
part store, all the time.
Fax. Oh my god.
So that said, is China in their mines in the Congo able to even support the demand? Will the IRS and the UN team up to stop them in a shootout before their electrically charged corporate giants have a chance at destroying the planet for yummy gooey profits?
Yummy good.
So let this be a short reminder that the most environmentally friendly vehicles on the road are the ones already on the road. I don't know if I can say their name, so I'll say Smash for Suckers grenaded many used vehicles with sand in the gas tank or nuts and bolts thrown in the valve cover. Those folk were more creatively torturous than a bored preteen playing Sims 2.
Do you know how many sweet Toyota Previas got caught up in that?
I can
Those
say the same
poor
for Ford
things.
Explorers.
Those poor things.
I would like to interrupt for those
Explorer.
that don't know. Ben is a serious sucker for any Toyota, but specifically Previous. He's got.
Check out the
We're
Toyota
Toyotathon
Previa
family
on
over here.
Instagram.
Here's the thing. So guys, like it's to the point that it's like if a Toyota were a sick puppy on the side of the road, he just picks him up. He'll put him in his pocket. He'll bring home a Camry or two, and he's like, "Look, they're so cute. Look, if we buff out the rust."
Yeah.
He's looked for all of them and considered buying all of them. Tercels, Cressidas, you name it. He's thought about it.
Those are cool.
Tercels
Tercels are
are
cool.
sick. Cressidas are the sickest.
Cressidas
Oh gosh, where's
Cressidas.
If I could have just a fleet of like 80s and 90s Toyotas, your boy would be the happiest person alive.
Doesn't need a lot for his car collection dreams to come true.
I
you know what?
One day.
I feel like that goes with all of us. But
Yeah.
COVID really messed things up for us, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Did.
Well, I mean, I don't even want to get into it. Carvio, now there's a fine group of gentle people doing the work of the beater car lords and the daily driven collector. You would be amazed at what some of our partners see in your little ugly busted thing in the driveway. Luckily, all you would have to see is a check in your hand and the taillights of your tired four-wheeled friend headed off to the next chapter of its life. I know, how bittersweet. What a shame now that you'll have to focus on what else to spend money on other than vehicle storage or trash bags to cover up the busted window.
Is the town and country more like a one-star Village Inn? Then give Carvio a call at 855-951-3335. If your car needs to go Carvio.
Obviously.
No, you had the Fiesta.
He has a. Oh,
Beer me.
yeah. Beer me as well, my
Oh,
guy.
you don't have to whisper that. Beer me too. Give me crack open an MF and beer.
The banquet beer.
Oh, you don't have to. Thank you,
So,
John.
if you're wondering at this point why we're cracking open MF and beers, after this we are recording our once a month special episode of Barbio, where we start the episode already lost in the sauce with a special guest, a colleague of ours, always to be determined, with a special prompt. This month is going to be about our first. Don't drop your beer. Is going to be about our first cars. I felt that was fitting. Kind of gives everybody an idea of where we come from. You know, usually
We come from the trenches.
Usually it's interesting. Maybe if it's a Previa, not so much. I guess we'll see. Now, speaking of the future of cars and automotive technology, the CES in Vegas was just held last month, and a lot of interesting stuff was released, including the new Sony Acura joint venture known as Afeela. It has a projected production release year in 2026. Now,
Wait.
blew my mind.
I'm sorry to cut you off. The Fila?
Afeela.
Afeela.
Yeah.
Afeela.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Now,
was like.
Afeela you.
I thought you meant like the shoes.
No,
Yeah, I was like,
Afeela. So Afeela. I imagine it was like this name was genetically engineered to be as easily pronounceable by just about anybody on the planet. That would be my guess. So,
We're talking cyberpunk status with these electric cars in the future.
any more questions?
No, carry on.
Yeah? No? Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what blew my mind most was not that I could play Sims 3 while in my car. It's not even the fact that they expect to lease for a length of 10 years. It's that these things will probably last only 10 years. They may have forgotten what a loan is. I know that it's not exactly a hot take, but it looks to be another indicator that automakers are looking more and more seriously at the planned out of what?
If the car's only good for 10 years, how long's the warranty?
Yeah.
Like 6 months? What's like?
You might be interested in Hyundai.
Well, you gotta remember the battery life on these things. Between 8 and 12 years expected. Batteries, lithium ion technology.
That's true. That's a good point.
Back to what Andrew was saying. Spoiler.
I don't know if it's a spoiler. You're just very talkative today.
And David is still silent.
That's not true. Oh man,
Buys more cars than David, talks more than David.
things aren't going well for David.
Okay, now where was I? So, yeah, but that's right. That's the point, right? A lease that's 10 years long with a car that they say is only supposed to last 10 years. Where does it go?
Like
It
all other
goes to the
Sony products of
trash.
yesteryear, throw it in the trash. That's what you wanted, huh?
It just took me out.
You know where
At a
my
premium.
you know where my PlayStation 2 is? The same place this car is gonna go.
Storage unit.
F***ing landfill.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm putting this thing in a plastic tote. And I'm putting a little piece of tape on the plastic tote that says consoles. Because I have more than one.
When I just moved last week, I put instead of because obviously I didn't want my movers to steal my shit, so instead of marking all the boxes with what was
Guns?
actually in them, no, I took those in my car. I didn't even let them touch those. No, so I put like where my Xbox was and like my printer and my Keurig. I just put cords and then closed the box. And they were like, "These are the heaviest cords I've ever picked up in my life."
Cords and books.
Yeah, just like HDMI cables.
Here, take this. This is a
A
box of
large
my
U-Haul
girlfriend's
box of
rocks.
HDMI cables. So when I had these like Ukrainian movers, go Ukraine, and they.
We can cut that out if you want.
I didn't pack these boxes with the thought of the movers in mind, so I put 5 old laptops that I don't know how to get rid of because I don't know how to get all my
You put
shit
them
off
where you
of
put
them.
the Afeela cars.
But no, then people can get my info and all my nudes. It can't happen. I have to like light them all on fire first, the laptop, so that nobody can get my hard drive.
If I can continue, I'll tell you that these cars will probably have people's nudes in them also. Because as you can imagine, you wouldn't have to drive them. So, where I left off. It's not a hot take, but it looks to be another indicator that automakers are looking more and more seriously at the planned obsolescence model of phone manufacturers. Phones have cameras.
And PlayStation makers,
PlayStation,
yes, of course.
Batteries, yes. And cameras where you can take hot car
Selfies.
nudes.
Selfies.
You wish you could
Selfies.
see these nudes,
Self-
my nudes. You wish you could.
Excuse
One
me?
day maybe I'll show you.
Where's our
It ain't today.
Oh wait, we're clocked out.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, this is off the clock. It's all fine. Sorry, Andrew, continue. I'm sorry.
I suppose this is the automotive industry's way into a steady income from their products. At the end of the lease, they pick up the car and sell it for scrap. Make sense? It's easier to plan for the future when you have a pretty good guess on how much money you'll have at pretty much any time.
Oh, here's my question though.
Sure.
I know some car companies have thrown this idea around, especially with electric cars, where like on the planned obsolescence
Yeah.
topic, right? They take the car, you keep your lease or whatever for 10 years, you turn it back in, then they just retrofit it with all new stuff and resell it as a new car.
That's correct. Yeah. So we plan to make these cars modular, which is what I think Tesla tried to do, and then it turns out they don't even have service sensors to this day.
But they're doing that with
It's-
gas
So
cars too, though.
I imagine.
Pagani.
I think Tesla had their skateboard platform. Is what
They
they called it.
I think they thought about it.
Did they ever
Paganis?
utilize it?
No, where they just switch the body from like one battery pack or switch same battery pack, new body. Like you can get a wagon, you can get a sports
Or
car, you
vice
can get a
versa,
truck. Yeah. They never did that.
I guess you're right. I mean, are the Model X, Y, Z, A1, A2, A3 not the same?
Well, half of those are Audis, and the
No shit.
only part
What?
of them exist.
What?
Are you making a joke?
A1, A2, A3,
Oh.
Audis.
Oh, right. See, A1s don't exist here. A2s don't exist here. Do A3s even exist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I so wrong right now?
No.
No,
No,
A3s
you're
exist
right.
here.
Wait.
A2s and A1s don't.
I have seen
A3s, yeah.
A3s do for
I
sure.
think they do sell A2s as well.
Do they still sell A3s?
A1s they sold here.
A3s
they do
A2s
for
we
sure.
never got.
Oh yeah,
both
yeah.
the
They're still like making
So-
RS3s and shit. I think.
so-
early 2000s.
My brother asked me, he asked for a friend, which I
Assume is for him.
jokes aside, I'm pretty sure I know who he was asking for, but that's not funny. He was like, he doesn't want an M3, but he has M3 money, right? So I'm like, okay, so you have, but your friend has like 80 grand or so. He's like, yeah, sure. So that is the night I found out that they don't make RS4s anymore.
Yeah.
Shame.
It is.
Yeah.
Did they ever sell those in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Well, like
Okay.
I mean, like the most recent
No.
generations of RS4s.
The recent ones are not.
Like
No,
the
they
last
don't
one I
have-
remember is that big V8 one with the wide fenders.
That's like the B5.5 body style or something like that. That's the one that I had the same Passat. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry,
2008.
Volkswagen nerd. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
no, that's why we have you here. We need this Volkswagen knowledge that the rest of us don't care enough to have. Sorry.
Wow.
I
You know,
love
you can-
Volkswagens
you can-
too. I'm sorry,
you
but
can
as a
bring your
Jew, it's
Volkswagen.
hard.
Yeah, I know. It was like so many German jokes came up right now. I was like, nah.
Yeah, Das Auto is
But-
like came from
and you're
Hitler.
talking
Okay,
about
that
these,
wasn't Volkswagen's
Chuck.
motto. That was Hitler's motto.
Mike, you can say stuff.
Oh, but you were telling me to shut up a second ago, love.
Yeah, I was telling you to shut up, but that's because you weren't using.
I like your Birds of Paradise shirt,
So,
Chuck.
What's up? Wait,
So, but you were saying about like the news is like it makes sense to
Way to get in there, Dave.
Well, you
plan for the future when you know how much you have. It's like you're saying back to bringing it back to what we were talking about though is like It's like the same as like sitting at home with your Sony subscription to their whatever library, their cloud system of video games. You're gonna have cloud car. You're gonna just sit at home and be like, you're like, right? But it's a crazy idea to think that. Like, but you're gonna have a cloud car. You're like, oh man, I just like whenever I want, I can have my freaking Mercedes roll up or my whatever.
So pay as you go has been tried by BMW. Well,
And Volvo.
Really?
Yeah, they
I
had
never
like
heard
a
of that.
subscription where you could turn in your XC40 for an XC90 and change cars every month if you wanted. Porsche did the same thing.
I think for this
Really?
chat was actually
Yeah, it was like
referring to
software.
your
$1,500 bucks.
subscription to your
Oh, yeah, yeah,
steering working or your subscription to your brakes.
Have you
or
not
something.
seen those
I don't
memes?
remember what they did,
Yeah.
but that's what they were doing, right? You wanted to keep your brakes. Well, you know, you may be going
Subscribe.
80 on the freeway, but you're late on your $15 subscription a day for brakes.
Good luck going 80 into that wall.
Hey, it's
So-
not speed that kills, it's sudden stops.
Thanks, Clarkson.
Clarkson, right?
Yes.
Afila and other manufacturers foresee this as the future of their business models, or at least potentially. Audi has a rent as need program now, which I find interesting. Their little jingle or mantra, if you will, I think I'm paraphrasing here, but it's rent the car, own the Audi experience.
I'd rather own the car and rent the Audi experience, if I'm honest. Because then when my shit's about to break, I can stop renting it and just have a car.
Yeah.
That would be ideal. They're doing this backwards. Who's head of their marketing and why is it not me?
This is German.
So,
Oh,
if
that's
there's
true.
anything that I've learned,
I'm the diversity hire.
no. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that car manufacturers that are run by car guys fail. Doesn't mean they're bad,
I see what you're saying.
but they
Yeah.
don't
Wait a
say
minute.
it.
Oh,
What are you gonna say?
I know what he's gonna.
Ben, what do
You don't.
Okay.
I'm going to say Rimac.
That's what you're gonna say? Really?
Yeah.
What?
Why?
Not Ferrari?
Ferrari's still
I
around.
thought he was gonna say Ferrari.
I thought he was gonna
I
say
was
Ferrari too.
no.
That was rhyme. That doesn't matter.
What?
Actually, the best example is actually Lancia. That is the best example.
Oh,
which
we'll
is
get
actually
into
one of our
Lancia.
one of our future episodes, a little peek behind the scenes. Yeah, Lancia.
Triumph was also like this.
Yep.
They were very proud of
Lotus.
the racing
Right.
heritage. The
Lotus.
problem
Lotus.
was that they made production cars. Ferrari car guys, Enzo hated the idea of
Production
vehicles,
cars.
Yeah.
Right.
From what I understand.
It's like, I
And
need
then he
these to-
realized that he needed to make money, and you can't make money just selling race cars. So he sold real cars to civilians. And gentlemen
Very
races. Mm.
I'm just taking your chain. So, this is all in the news. They're trying to push electric vehicles with software updates. They'll keep the car fresh. They'll come up with a what's it called? Facelift on the car, and you can just walk your happy ass right in and be like, "Can I get the facelifted front fascia, please?" And
Pagani.
you're like, "Yeah, $2 and times 1,000," and then
Pretty much.
you get your new thing, whatever. right?
$2 times the 10 years you're gonna have this body.
I feel like Pagani's a bad
By
example.
day.
It is.
Well, no,
'Cause you
because
gotta
they.
spend-
I didn't
But it's
understand what you
the-
meant by that.
Yeah, but
So Pagani, they came out with the Zonda, Zonda, right, in like the late '90s or so, early 2000s,
yeah.
and ever since then, if you own a Zonda, you can they're like, hey, we made a new Zonda, and then you can send your old Zonda back and get all the new Zonda shit put on it.
Oh,
Like,
well,
what?
Yeah.
So when did they start making the Zondas?
it's 99. I want to say.
Let's look at a Google.
I think it was 99.
Do
It's
you
like
do you guys like Zonda?
I love Zondas.
I
I
like
really,
the-
I really
I think
like
it's a
Pagani.
weird looking car. I just think it's just so interesting and like artistic looking. I'm just like I like
So it
whatever it
Well,
debuted-
does.
that's his whole. That's his whole.
That's his whole
itch,
thing.
right?
Right.
Like,
Also, most of them have
everything
Mercedes
on his
engines.
car
His
is
art.
supposed to look
Yeah.
I like it.
obsessively beautiful, right?
Well, if you guys-
do you agree with that?
I don't think it's obsessively beautiful.
I think I agree with you because I think it's
The new Utopia is very cool, though.
I
Like,
haven't
that's
seen that.
very
So
beautiful.
the Zonda
looking.
was released at the 1999 Geneva Motor Show.
I can't believe it.
So
I just
it
took a
ran
shot
from
there.
1999 to 2019.
There's a fly.
So if you have a Zonda that you bought in 2001,
My
you can be
personal
like,
favorite.
hey Pagani, take my Zonda and new Zondify it, and for a pretty penny, they will do that for you.
Can
So
I
you'll
get
get
the
all
R
the new
package?
stuff, the new wheels, the new like updated. They won't like change the engine probably, but they'll make that all fancier than it used to be.
So okay.
Yeah, there were, like,
I
so many
never knew this
versions.
about them.
What?
I was just saying I never knew this about them that they did that.
Yeah.
But were you able to change like?
I didn't know that either.
I guess they never
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
the actual like.
They didn't change the
Well-
frame, engine, transmission, I don't think, but they changed like
Well,
all the
they have.
body panels, the wheels, suspension, brakes,
think-
all that stuff.
Here's the thing though, if they
Aero.
had
My
to though, it's all
favorite thing-
Mercedes engines and transmissions
Yeah.
most of the time. Pagani didn't manufacture
Right.
any of their own
Yeah.
bespoke anything really other than body. They're like a coach. They're a coach building business. They're like that's what's cool about them to be honest. They're a coach building business.
I
Yeah.
think the most interesting
For
thing I
hypercars.
found about them was they were where I learned that manufacturers or coach builders, anybody really, made wheels out of solid blocks of any metal. Frankly, they did.
Yeah,
theirs out
And
of
like the
aluminum.
little
Yeah,
logos
HRE
too.
does that
Yeah,
too.
They do. Yeah. They're local too.
Yeah, up in
Relatively
Vista.
from here, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I used to work down the street from them, but
they have their like open house or whatever. Most years it falls on my birthday somehow, so that's kind of cool. But
when I worked for BMW, I had to drop some off there.
yeah, I met the owner. He brought like a couple cars that they were using for like wheel
He would stop
shows.
by our dealership too.
He would come by for like all the Ferraris, like
Mhm.
these lug
Yeah,
nuts
people
don't fit. And we're like, yeah, well you're dumb. Like,
All right, boys, but let's wrap up the news though real quick. So.
Oh, yeah, that's my bad, sure.
But it also shows the new way auto manufacturers are trying to reinvigorate their sales, right? From all this silly pay-as-you-go, this subscription-based everything, right? But Renault, I see here, is committed to the possible change in the future that they will release their electric cars with the intent that the units will last 20 to 25 years, but will be modular enough that they will be updated and then refurbished like you had forecasted there, Ben. So you were on the nose with that one. That was really
Nice.
paying attention. So it's really just like having a console. It's like having a Nintendo. The future is. I play a lot of Cyberpunk recently, so that's what it is to me. It looks very much that.
That's true. That's true. I have an N64, and they gave me that extra little data, little pack thing that I can put in the front there.
I went from having solid colored controllers to see-through controllers.
I
okay?
know, I
Like,
did too. Yeah.
Hold on, the see-through Game Boy Advance. See-through Game Boy Advance. Hold on, no.
Oh.
The see-through Game Boy Advance. Let's all take this moment and pause for respect.
Oh yeah.
I never had one of those ones.
I had
mine
two.
was
I had
white.
the baby
So-
blue and the baby pink.
I had see-through purple.
That was on the Game Boy
Fireflies.
Color. He's talking about the Advance. Ours was white.
No, I had a see-through purple one too.
My brother.
I had both.
That's
I had a
the
Game
color.
Boy,
That's the
I had
square one.
both of
That's-
them. The Game Boy Advance is the
Oh,
long ways
Oh,
one,
yeah.
you
Those are all-
did.
they all
and
look
the
like
other
that,
one
didn't
is
they?
like straight up and down.
No, one was like a sidekick. Remember those?
Yeah, those
Yeah. That was the SD.
I had a sidekick
No,
and I was so
no,
ghetto. I didn't have
no.
internet.
The DS was.
DS. Excuse me, DS.
Before that, it was the SP, which looked like a little laptop.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
But the
SD.
DS is the one that just flips open.
But has a
DS
touch on the
was
bottom,
white.
like a stylus screen, and the other one on top.
Yeah,
SP
yeah.
was basically just a Game Boy flip phone.
Yeah, it was. It was sick. I love that.
My
one.
brother also had the see-through purple Game Boy Color, and my
a
oldest
classic.
brother had the. I don't know where they are,
The
but I
neon
still
green
have
one
them.
was cool.
The Pokemon edition,
Oh,
where the Pokeball is the little red light that lights up
Yep,
and you
yep,
have power on.
That's
It is.
yeah.
indeed.
It's really something.
Oh man,
Chuck, can you help us here?
Yeah, I think that was the end of the news. Yeah.
I would agree with you.
Can you
Maybe.
make us laugh a little bit? You got a jingle?
Yeah, I do. I got
Wait, hold on. Give him a car model.
Ooh, we're gonna test Chuck right now.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
test him.
okay.
Well, I really want to say Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger?
Ford Ranger has you in danger. Go to Carvio.
Yeah!
If your car needs to go Carvio.
Good job.
So, to sum up the
Nice.
news this time around, Sell your American sedan because even we aren't talking about it. That brings me to the next segment, the randomly drawn die-cast model of the week. David, you picked this one out for out of your extensive collection.
Yes.
Whether it was actually random or not is beyond me.
It was.
What? Okay.
Like all shenanigans. There was collusion.
Well, I actually picked two boxes. Well, I had opened two boxes, grabbed them out from under my bed, looked at two first cars. One was the Jaguar XK8. I'll just tell you what it was. But that was British, so
Yeah.
or kind of. I feel like that was a Ford, technically.
just-
It's a weird hybrid.
Whatever.
A lot of
Moving
people
on.
hate the English. I
Right.
understand.
No, it's not a knock, but I just didn't
I
want
mean,
to,
they
we
took
did
over
that.
half the fucking world. Everyone has a little resentment towards the English.
Okay.
All right, history guy. No, but
We live in
so-
America, boys. Come on.
Oh,
We fought a whole war against
Rebel,
who?
right.
The Redcoats.
You're talking
Where were
to
they
a member
from?
of the Commonwealth here. Have some
The
decency.
Commonwealth of France. We fought you too.
You. Sorry, that was a.
All right, but what was the other one that you picked?
and then Honda CRX.
All right.
The CRX.
Sweet box.
Fun fact about the CRX: it was two models. The Honda Del Sol.
No, shut up!
Honda CRX Del Sol, aka a Del
Shut up.
Slow.
We'll get to that.
What did I just
So
do?
what can you tell me about it off the
still
top of
is.
your head, David? What stirred your interest in it so much that you spent $2 on a small version of it?
Great question. Well, Betty loves the CRX. I too love the CRX. I like boxy cars. That's kind of my theme. If you know how they always change from boxy to like more curved every
Yeah, like
year.
the Del Sol.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, perfect example right there. And I don't know. It had the cool little like orange 5-spoke wheels, like the faster.
David, nobody cares about the Hot Wheels version.
I'm just saying, like.
He's got to explain the total.
Okay,
right?
fine.
Yeah,
fine.
there's different versions of like the CRX
Just
Hot
being
Wheel,
the
but
older
I
brother.
picked the black one, and it looked sweet. And we have multiple of them, so we
course.
spent more than
For a
probably.
sports car in the 80s, and this is the one I was talking about in the intro, it was considered a sports car.
Right.
It had those,
Even
you
though
never remember the name of those wheels for the brakes, the brake cooling, the vented
No,
the-
turbofans.
turbofan. It's
Yeah.
turbofan-esque.
yeah,
The
wheels.
Mugen wheels.
Yeah.
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 but
Mugen
no,
CRX, that thing is
love them to
crazy
What
cool.
was I gonna say?
No
No,
card
it's
in front of you,
okay.
big
It's
dog.
no, we'll get
Were
to
you
that
talking
later.
about the Hot Wheel itself? And the wheels?
No, I can't remember. No, proceed.
Well,
Proceed.
have you, like, what?
What drew me?
So how did you even find out about this thing?
The CRX?
Yeah.
His older brother.
Benny, pretty
Me.
much.
Oh,
Just
well,
like
then,
I've
okay.
learned all my car knowledge from Ben, pretty much.
Benny?
Especially Hondas, because Benny was one of those little Honda boys at one point in his life.
Hey,
That boy,
I'm
Hey,
still
no,
a
no,
Honda
stop.
heart, okay?
That's true. That's true.
If
all
I
have a
could
little
if
hot
I
buttons.
could find myself any like 1988 to 1997 ish Civic Integra CRX Del Slow, doesn't matter. I want them all. I like. Remember what I was saying about old Toyotas?
They're all
Like,
sick puppies. They're all sick puppies.
great
I want
way.
to hold them and I want to love them. I want to.
yep. Old Hondas get me a little hard as well. You know,
It's a Toyotathon family, but
tickle my
every
pickle.
once in a while, yeah.
And we don't celebrate Honda days in this house. We
Like
celebrate
most
Toyotathons.
of
So
the
he-
millennials, he's got a JDM fetish. It's okay. He
Yeah.
watches anime. He does the whole
But-
thing. Yeah, I'm pulling you out. I go,
wait,
yeah, I know
can you honestly
But the
remember, and would you honestly be able to tell me, maybe not the moment that you first kind of like registered a CRX, but the first time that you laid eyes on a CRX and you're like, you know what, those make me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I have
I
a
can
great
tell you
example.
exactly that time.
Yeah, I think it's the same time for
What do you
both of
got?
us.
What do you got?
Benny, you go.
No,
'cause
it was
CRX
long before the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
Long before.
All right, we got two stories then. You go first,
sure.
Benny.
Circa 2011. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a little later than I thought, but okay.
Well, no. Okay, so like I love the CRX from before that, but I just love stock CRX. Like I would love to drive a CRX. They're cool looking. Some of them, if you got a Japanese one that you imported, could have had a glass roof,
Yes,
which
that's
would have been
right.
pretty friggin' cool
Yeah,
in like
panoramic.
'99 or whatever, right? And
Earlier than that.
well, like no, before that, but like by the time It doesn't even make sense. Never mind. By the time I would have gotten my hands on one, having one with a glass roof would have been pretty cool.
Unattainable, really.
That's fair.
So, but 2011, I was in automotive school. I went to IBAC, which is the suspension company,
Yeah.
but they every year have the IBAC meet, and it's literally only Hondas are allowed. And there were some CRXs there that just blew my mind. Like I don't know if you guys remember like I don't know if it's a company or just one guy, but like Rywire, does that sound familiar to you? Okay, so Rywire was a dude who just did wire tucks. So you would go and you would see an engine and it would have no visible wiring at all. It would all be hidden. And it was the cleanest, coolest, sexiest looking shit you've ever seen when they have the valve cover painted in some like Chuck said. Not gonna lie, anime.
Yeah.
Covered in anime, and you're just like valve cover covered in anime. Cool colored car
With those, like,
and then
ITVs
no
or
wires, and
whatever?
it looks so clean. Yeah, ITVs.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just
like-
a little turbo hanging off there. Oof, skunk 2 manifold.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's
I'm
going
gonna
back
cover my
to it.
pants. I'm gonna cover my pants.
I
Just
still-
don't look. It's happening as we speak,
I have no idea how they do that to this day.
and it's over. Somebody get me a cigarette.
Stop it now. All right, David. What about you?
That was
Oh.
fun. I'm getting paid for it. Unbelievable.
I just always like the CRX because, well, one, I like
Calm
boxy
down.
cars. I feel like that was probably, not my, like it was older than me, so it's like obviously something Benny would be more into than me. But for me, it was just kind of, the coolest moment I've seen with a CRX, we were at Radwood at like the Honda campus,
American Honda
if
campus.
you will.
Yep, in Anaheim.
And that was really cool. But they had some really sweet Hondas there. Obviously, they were like CRXs with like what Benny said, kind of
But they had, like-
wires tucked and all that, and like people owned. And I think this one was as well. But it was like full Mugen. Black car. Mugen was in like the Mugen stuff was in gold on like the accents on the side. Gold wheels, like 5-spoke wheels that I've never seen before on a CRX, and I was like, this might be the best in show, like for sure. Like as far as Hondas go, and like you see all of them, the Ludes, the Civics, all
Sick
different,
Ludes.
sick Ludes. You see those, and you're like, wow, those look great. But there's nothing. It's right-hand drive. This one we saw,
Natural.
and it was. I don't remember like what
Airwolf.
generation it was, but
Later.
it was. I think it was a later one. Yeah, it wasn't an early one with like the square headlights. It was the rectangular ones, and that's what this Hot Wheels was. And that's kind of exactly what when I picked the Hot Wheel. I thought about that moment. It was just like
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, of course. There you go.
Now you brought up. You tried to bring it up to me earlier. The Mugen, is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
Or okay.
That's the one. You're
Alright,
like,
so
don't tell me now.
Mugen
It's
is
like,
so
okay.
sexy.
it was so cool. It was like beautiful. I feel like it should have been on like a magazine cover. Like if you're looking for like and it was like it wasn't too like lowered or anything. It had like really still skinny tires. It was it was perfect. It was great.
Does anyone remember the? Well, I guess I have my own mic. Does anyone remember the Gran Turismo 4 PS2? We were just talking about having those in our storage units.
I'm an Xbox guy.
There was a
I'm sorry.
In Gran Turismo 4, they had the Mugen CRX that you're talking about. It was playable, and I used to drive that a lot. And this was when I was a grown-up German fanatic kid for cars and crap, and I was just like, oh, Honda suck. But I got that one, and I tuned the suspension just right, and that thing hugged in that game corners, man. It was great.
Let's talk about
Mugen. Sounds German enough.
Yeah.
let's talk about video games real quick. Interjection. That game Wreckfest. If you have Xbox Game Pass, it's super fun. There's a CRX in it, and you can drive it. It doesn't
Is
say
there
CRX.
really?
Yeah, I like. It's cool. They keep changing the game. You do a different car every time for I don't know some challenge, and you drove CRX, and I was like, this thing handles just like I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing about the CRX: none of them had stock, and the ones at least you can get in the States, over 100 horsepower. SI 91, stock one.
Here's the great
54.
thing about Hondas, though. you're just a motor swap away from
very
spinning your
easy
tires
motor swap.
all the way down a
That
drag
is
strip.
incorrect. You are actually just one K&N cold air intake
That is not
from
true.
doubling the
Cherry bomb.
From
Exactly, and a license plate
personal
frame.
experience, that does not make you go much faster.
Oh, wait, so you missed the joke.
Oh yeah, 100%, right over my head, and my hat, both of them.
He
Sorry.
put one of them
Go
on his
Padres.
Civic.
Go
Oh,
Padres.
Padres.
Go Mets.
Well,
Go Mets.
have we gotten into
Go
the
Mets!
CRX then?
No, let's
Okay,
do it.
well, yeah,
Let's
sure.
do it.
Let's
Thank
do it.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Why don't we get into that? The Honda CRX, also known as the Honda CR-X.
Or for the military, CR TAC X.
The Honda Civic CRX, the Honda Ballad Sports CRX, or the Honda Civic Renaissance Experimental.
Imagine all that on an FBI wanted poster. With all the aliases.
It is on
We're looking for the Honda
Wanted.
CRX.
I want this, it makes me hard!
It's on JDM's Most Wanted.
Everyone's favorite, oh wow, those cars are worth something now, car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I remember seeing these quite often as a kid. Now, by the time my line of sight could reach over the bottom of a car window, the oldest of these were already over 15 years old. So most of the time they looked very pedestrian, if not in line with the ridiness of a Fox body Mustang at the time as well.
That's a stretch.
What are you talking about?
Is CRX looking like a Fox body?
I'm just, so
From like a
remember, I'm
5-year-old.
talking about the
Oh.
year 2000. The, you know,
Fair.
Wait, you
Fair,
couldn't see
fair.
over the window in two.
Yeah,
How
it's like,
old
Andrew,
are you?
you're not that
I was a
short.
very short kid.
Really?
I think I was like 5'4" up until 10th grade.
Oh, you had
I was
one of
up
those
until 3
super
weeks
yeah,
ago.
growth
yeah,
spurts?
I got
Oh,
spurts.
okay. All right, never mind. Sorry, my bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
growth spurt, my bad.
Yeah.
Wait, can I just interject with a really funny story about my friend Donish? Hope you're listening, buddy. This kid was playing high school football. Excuse me, he wasn't even playing high school football. He was on the sidelines of a high school football game. Okay, dressed but not playing. Okay,
He
this
could have been a running back.
no, he couldn't.
No, he couldn't.
No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't. He could never. Never. I love you, Donish, but you couldn't. Okay, so he was on the sidelines watching the game like a backup, and a play came to him. Okay, and he took a helmet to his knee and broke his knee and shattered all of the growth plates in his knee. So, you know what the doctors did? Because they're doctors, they broke his other knee. And they broke his other growth plates. So now the kid didn't grow any taller from his knees up. And he's just got a top body and then little legs. He's like, Donish, I love you so fucking much. No.
fucking walking around like
No. Like,
Dragging knuckles.
listen, luckily for him, God did not want him to be tall, and so he's like pretty well proportioned now. Like, could you imagine if he would look like Andrew if his legs grew the way they were supposed to? He would have like all leg and no upper part.
Oh my god! So a blessing. He's proportional. now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, Allah was really looking out for him.
But now he could really fit in a Honda CRX, baby.
Alright.
So yes, I was
He
a
could
short kid.
jump in through the window.
Now, what I'm talking about with the Mustang,
Love you, Donish.
this breed's catching up with me. What I'm talking about with the Mustang is we're talking about the year 2000. You know, David, before you were born.
Hey, I was born in '96. I'm barely a millennial. Thank you very much.
David was born in '96.
And obviously, thank you.
And he's still 12 to this day.
So back then, Fox bodies weren't appreciated. CRXs weren't even appreciated. I
No,
guess
not
is
yet.
what I was saying. Right? So you wouldn't even guess that they were Mustangs. So back to the CRX. It's true. As an affordable package in general, these were typically treated as economy cars to be overdriven and neglected. As a result, they're actually exceedingly uncommon in any condition in the States.
They are.
The lines on this car have since become timeless, with up to 160 horsepower being pushed out from underneath 2,200 pounds at the most.
And
This car's-
14-inch wheels.
Yeah, yeah,
Tinies.
yeah. You're talking about takeoffs, yeah. From a dick. This car snuffed out the prowess of the 240Z, thanks to the face-melting power of VTEC, all while having a lower sticker price if you take into account for inflation. Now, yeah, I did the math. So, I don't remember the math.
How much was the
If the
CRX new?
240Z were priced like a car, at the time that the first CRX came out in 1985, I think it would have been almost $10,000 car, whereas the CRXs were about $7,000.
Bargain.
Bargain,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's really
Yeah.
so.
Slow car, fast, looks cool, 2 seats. Nobody needs 4.
And all with claims of 40 to 70 miles per gallon.
Yep.
Even
They all-
recently.
They did the math, and it's like really like 29 to 35 now, I guess, with today's like emissions. I looked that up.
Well, so there's
But-
differences in fuel, and
Right.
there's wear in the engine to make it less efficient.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So,
Plus, it's like 90s technology, so I'm assuming. I mean, you know.
well, it worked fine. Like, so,
Right.
so there were actually a ton of magazines to review this thing, and like even in '89, they're like best car ever,
R.I.P. to Sport Compact
best
Car.
car ever, right?
I was published in that magazine. Keep
Why don't
Proceed.
what? What?
Yeah.
What?
Sport Compact Car.
Uh-huh.
2000 something.
Huh?
They had like a thing where you like send in something about like your car, like send in like not like a love letter, that's stupid, but like just like write about your car. And I didn't have a car because I was not old enough to have a car, so I wrote about my buddy's 240. I'm brain fart. 240SX, right? Yeah, that's what those are.
Yeah.
240SX. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So no, I'm an idiot. It wasn't about his car. It was about his website, speedmonkeyinc.com. And I was like, speedmonkeyinc.com, like, it's great. Go there if you want any, like,
That's right. Yeah.
you know. Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Speedmonkeyinc.com. Are you serious? That guy worked at Starbucks up the block from my house.
Kidding me?
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
I would go to the bookstore and buy a Sport Compact
That's
car.
2 honks in a sentence.
Love you to
by
death.
the way.
And then my mom would need to go and get a coffee because I was rambunctious. And we would go over, and Matt, the guy who ran, it was Speed Monkey Inc., was the barista. He'd see me walk in with a Sport Compact car, and we would just talk cars, and like he was my buddy, and he brought me out to Qualcomm, like when they would do race legal
The
out
giant
there.
used car tent sale?
No.
Look at all these cheap
The-
CRX.
Sunday.
The other weekend. Like,
Okay.
giant used car tent sale, Sunday.
Mile of cars.
But Saturday would be race legal, and they were like autocross,
okay,
whatever.
yes.
So he would like go out and do that, and like he was like, "You want to come?" And I'm like,
How about that?
12 or whatever, and was like, "Yeah!" And my mom drove me out there and like watched him race. I still haven't eaten. Never mind, I can't say that like live, but I'm going to show you right now. Off,
Hold on.
off,
That's
off
visually
the air.
dependent.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, like it's that's smallest world ever. Like I sold your buddy a
Oh,
Mercedes,
right.
and
And it
you
turns
know this
out-
random website that I
Well-
knew the guy who
well,
ran
again,
like
earlier today,
ages and
we actually
ages
found
ago.
out that Chris's Porsche 911, right, the one that sold for $329,000 or
Yep.
whatever, right?
Shout out Chris.
I met that guy.
You met
like
Chris.
10 years ago. That is the 911 where I'm like, you know what? I think I like more than just classic 911s. I like this 911 too.
Wait,
That was his
10
car.
years ago, Chris was like in high school.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went to
I went to high school with
He
him.
probably
Look
did.
at my email.
He probably
Look
was.
at the
It's
name of
just
my
fun,
email.
but
He is.
wrote
I
that online.
recognize that car.
Look
Yeah.
at the name, like right under where it says Ben Goldberg with the wrong size letters.
Oh shit.
That's my email.
Speed.
To this day. Don't say it out loud. People,
I did. I just said Speed Monkey.
since then, that's been my email.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, so I was
Yeah.
like, so
Fucking wild,
what I
huh?
said was like, we started describing him or something, and I don't remember how.
I
it
showed him a
started.
picture on Instagram.
Right, so
Of
so
Chris's
he's
face.
like, yeah, Mexican guy, and it's like, but did he look Mexican? Or
No.
was he like more like Spanish? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he was kind of white looking. And like, was he like kind of a little shorter, stout? Yeah. And he showed me a picture, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like him grown up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
Yeah,
Chris is a good dude.
Pretty good. And he was talking about like, he was loaded back then, so
Yeah.
it's got to be the same guy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris has a great collection.
Or his dad.
They're not really working all that well, but no, Chris has amassed his own substantial. His dad's got some sweet whips too, for sure. But like
Did he ever have a red one? A red
Many.
911?
Many a red one.
plenty. He's got plenty right
A
now.
red SC?
Oh, that I do not
Yes, with gold lettering.
With a black whale tail?
That's a stretch, but maybe I can text him.
Because he might have bought my older brother's
He just sent me a
red
meme on Instagram.
240Z.
I don't know. I don't.
Like, yo, did you ever own a red 240Z?
I'll ask him.
Or your family?
So, why don't we move on?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Because we're talking about CRXs here. We left off at 40 to 70 miles a gallon.
That's obscene. It's so cool.
And it's
Honda,
true.
Like,
And it's true. There have been commercial tests, and it passed. It's the high fuel economy.
yeah,
HF.
HF.
VHF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was its own model. I remember that. Yep.
The
Same
CRX
thing, baby.
has indeed aged as a rare, slept-on wine would. The SI variant will outperform your base model economy car of any make from today, with better fuel economy and much lower insurance premiums, which is important. If you're in the market for a show-worthy example, be prepared to add an extra 0 to that check, if you'll find anyone that will take a check for.
Yeah, alright, we are live.
Welcome back.
This little front-wheel camtail car was actually inspired by an Alfa Romeo from the 70s.
You're lying.
Designed by the coach builder. Do either of you
Oh
know
wait.
Wait,
Who
good
does
question.
it? One more time.
Alfa
Okay.
Romeo.
Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo from the
Uh.
70s, designed by the coach builder.
Pininfarina?
Bertoni.
Good
No.
point.
Wow,
Yes.
amazing. You chose
Zagato.
Oh,
Both of them.
Giugiaro.
There you go.
Zagato? All right. There we go. Third time's the charm.
uh-huh.
One of my favorite coach
the
builders.
Junior Z.
Oh, I know that car. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I
Cool.
would have never
So-
ever guessed
So
that.
if you do not know what that car looks like, allow me to name another car that some listeners may still not know of. But I'm positive you guys do. The Saab Sonnet Mark III.
Oh, 100%.
Ah, yes.
V4 baby power. Let's go.
Yes, if you did not know what that style is called, or perhaps you thought it was a hatch, then Camtail, spelled Kamm, is the name of your new favorite body style.
So okay. So two things to take away from that. One, how is the Saab Sonnet engine derived from jets? That's my first question. Think on it for a
the
moment.
Saab Sonnet engine is not derived from jets. It's actually a Ford V4.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yep. But Saab's whole thing is like, we come from jets.
Not on that one.
Yeah, wait,
clearly.
Saab Sonnet, hold on, what year is that?
So the Saab Sonnet runs
69.
was like 66 or something, and then this Mark II was anything, but there were only like 300 Saab Sonnets made or something like that.
So like this is 79 though, right?
So, no, Saab Sonnets
feel like
were,
I've seen, like,
Mark
20
IIIs were only made up to like 73.
Oh, 70. Okay, so this is, I don't think, this is when they're starting to like really buckle down on jet building. Because we're getting up
Oh,
on
yeah,
like
like-
Eurofighter, the Typhoon, whatever, yada yada. So, yeah, I think Andrew's right. I don't think this has anything to do with jets. This
No,
is
I know,
them
but I just thought that
production
that was their whole
What
like mantra the whole
has-
time.
That was like towards the
Jets.
80s.
Do you remember it was the Saab like 9-1 or the Saab 1 or
9-3?
something, right? It was like this like kind of flat based basic, I don't even know how to describe it, like a half an oval kind of thing, you know, like a teardrop, right? And it had a jet yoke basically to steer.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was like back in 59.
They made another
No
one. I feel like in the
way.
'80s and the '90s that had like a
Don't think
joystick.
you could do that legally, but
Well,
The
yeah.
top left? Or no, it's this thing. It's this thing.
That's the one. The Saab.
It's not the
That's
Sonic
not giving me a
though.
model name, but that is the one. Yeah. Little
Is it?
bug
That's an
eye, flat
ugly
base,
little car.
guy.
Fun fact: that's also you can drive
It
in
does have a steering
Wreckfest.
wheel though,
No, that's okay. So maybe this.
so we
is
need to go further back.
Wait.
Let's not get too.
Maybe not.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you keep
draw
going.
forget
away.
Saab.
I'll find it. You keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
So that is, I guess you could call fun fact number one. It is called a camtail, and that's the kind of short little
Camtail with a
hatch
K.
and it's cut off at the end. You know. So one of the names for this car that I mentioned earlier was what was that? They all fist bumped each other.
It's just the joke
Never
that
mind.
went over your head.
Yeah.
He got it.
I
You
got
didn't.
the joke.
It's
Well,
okay.
it went over my head because my ears are poor.
Oh, I'll say it again.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, it's okay.
Earlier, the Honda was called the Honda BaT Sports CRX, right? I brought that name up. These were sold in the U.S. as just Civics back in the 80s, but they were also sold under British Leyland as the Triumph Acclaim in Europe.
Get out.
What?
They made the Honda claim not much later. It was a K car that I believe they only sold in Japan.
So
Interesting.
it was when I was writing this that I realized I'd already compared the Acclaim to a Civic the better part of a decade ago, and being none the wiser until now.
That's wild. And then Plymouth came out with an Acclaim in the 90s also. I wonder how they didn't sue each
That's
other like
weird.
Beretta, excuse me.
I don't know.
That's a
I
very.
mean, so for Triumph, it makes sense. They commonly had names like the Triumph Gloria, right?
Yeah, of other
Right, like
companies. Yeah.
Gloria. It was the whole Roman wreath thing, you know.
Nissan had the
The
Gloria
Acclaim.
too. So really what you're saying is Triumph is not that original.
To answer your
They
other
just did,
question.
like very victorious names.
To answer your other question though, Ben, about like Beretta, it's because the finality of the difference, or the finality of that piece of machinery being a firearm, in like legal documents, you have to be able to like differentiate. Even like that's why there's submodels.
Like, oh, this is mechanical.
Right,
that's
everyone like
mechanical.
the
It's
sales
same.
pitch to you is like, oh, it's cool, it's a little bit different. No, that also has to then be qualified, quantified. Whereas a car, there's a little bit more leeway because it's not
Car to
inherently
car is
designed
different
to
than-
hurt someone, right? It's supposed to be safe, especially nowadays. So
Right.
yeah, that's all it is. It's legal jargon.
Interesting. Learn something new every day.
Well,
Wild.
to be fair, I think it was at this point that Giovanni Michelotti was
What a
was not.
name.
I know. Was not designing vehicles anymore. I think he died very young, but he designed a lot of Triumph's cars from like 60s and 70s. He actually designed cars for Alfa Romeo, and all that. But original, okay.
That's where he got his start, they say.
So next on the fun fact list was a quick point that you mentioned before that there were 2-seaters. Right. In Japan and Europe, they were 2+2s.
Huh.
I mean, you know, you can't fit 4 Americans in that thing, I'll tell you right now.
No, I guess that must be it, but it must have been like a 944. So, finally, and I get this fact maybe painfully obvious to enthusiasts of this model, but the official successor to this car is the Honda Del Sol, or should I refer it by its official designation?
The Honda Del Slow.
CRX, lowercase Del, capitalized Sol. How about it? Chuck, you got a jingle for us? Let's spruce it up.
I certainly do. Has your Fiesta gone siesta? Then we can help you wake up your wallet instead. Go Carvio when your car needs to go.
Chuck, you're like the Rain Man of these. It's unbelievable. Just,
Let's give him another
beautiful.
one. Another one.
Okay, let's pick a model. Let's pick. No, not off your list. We're picking one. Wait,
Another
wait.
freestyle.
A Plymouth Fury.
It's a tough one. Kind of.
Has your Plymouth Fury left you in a hurry? Call Carvio today.
Chuck.
855-951-3335. When your car needs to go, go Carvio.
Yeah, that was all right.
It's
Clap it up for him one time. That was
Good,
incredible.
good, yeah.
I was gonna say when your Plymouth Fury dies like Nicholas Fury, call Carvio.
Hey.
That's a better reference, but I mean, like, what does really rhyme with?
No, no,
Fury?
no. Hey, you nailed it.
Right.
Yours was perfect.
Purring.
Mine was like good if you couldn't
Yeah.
think of something.
When you-
But you know, Plymouth has purred
Fury
since the
is
1960s.
no
Let's be real, guys. Like,
Yeah, they just whined
except
a lot
except
in
the
the
Plymouth
90s.
Laser, we can all say Plymouth Laser.
Okay,
Lasers
okay,
and
David's
stuff.
rubbing his face. I think it's time to move on. So, now it's time to show off our finds in the classified car finds of the week. We each pick an example that we think is the best in whichever way we ourselves see fit, and claim ours was the best find or not. David could steamroll us like he did in the pilot.
Yes, sir.
Which you may or may never hear.
We also talk on the ad itself. Because who are we if we can't even let you know what not to do when selling your car to a broke nerd? Chuck, can you pull up the first listing, please?
Well, who is going first? Who do we have?
Whoever
Just
you want.
pick it and
I
we'll
have
figure
here
it
that
out.
Chuck hastily pulls up the ad links.
All right.
from
Now hold on. Now
thing
this is
because-
your CRX.
Ooh,
Oh, I'm first. Okay.
Yes,
Andrew.
Your
That's
marketplace CRX.
I think I might have
You're
lost.
disqualified.
Okay, let's start here.
Uh-oh.
It's a 20-footer. I'll be open with that. It is. How much does it cost, Chuck? How much are you asking?
57.
So I remember having a brief, like, gotta have one kind of thing, maybe like a year ago. This car was still up. It is now at 5,700 miles.
What was it a year
No,
ago?
not
Dollars.
Dollars. It has 174,000 miles.
Okay.
Let's, can you click on the see more there? Because I need it. So it's a DX model. It's nothing special. It's white. It's got the two-tone with the gray underneath and the red stripe accents.
Turbo
It
fans.
is the
Hubcaps.
post-facelift.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's
It had-
the pre-facelift.
Pre-facelift.
The original.
Is it?
Yes.
No. That's not
No,
true.
those
It
are
is
square
one-
lights.
The original,
100,
yes.
the original
True.
ones were sunk in. They look more like.
That's
top
true.
hat.
No, he's right. In
Oh, okay.
84.
Yeah.
That was like the 84.
All right.
ones.
So let's list this off. It runs well considering it is carbureted. I'm really not sure what that means. I know, like, really, what does that mean?
It means somebody doesn't know how to adjust a carburetor.
That's exactly what that means.
Or
And then he
carburetor.
repeats in another line, carburetor not fuel injected.
Now
As
spelled
the
correctly, I might add.
Was that?
Oh,
So
yeah, it was-
carbureted is spelled incorrectly, but carburetor is
No,
spelled
it
correctly.
is actually spelled.
With a
There's an A where there's supposed to be an
spell
E.
it, and then there's an American way in both.
He's used
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Cavalier.
He might be Canadian like you.
Carburetor.
He might be Canadian.
Carburetor is how the English spell it. It has two T's at the end.
No, he spelled carbu-rated and then carburetor.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So it is certainly not fuel injected.
This
Very,
is true.
very good on fuel. I average about 40 to 50 depending how I drive it. Keep in mind, if you could imagine a CRX that looked daily driven about the time that I could start looking over the bottom of a car window. A 5-speed manual transmission, no AC model on this model, just vents. Just has fans. It has the hatchback trunk, which he is wrong. It is a camback. Registration good. Clean
Dumbass.
title. Original owner's manual. Can you take a look at those owner's manuals? Look at that. Minty.
Warranties.
Listen to these.
You
1987
got the
Honda.
warranty card. You got your
Love
AAA card. You got your 1987.
You've got your
Honda.
salesman's business card.
Everything.
That's,
He's got it all.
I mean, you're doing something
This
if you
is
kept
telling me.
that.
This is giving me like.
You may
second
be a
owner vibes
hoarder.
At the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for big
At the
second owner
most.
vibes.
Uh-huh.
Somebody who spent way too much on this like 10 years ago thinking that carburetors were good.
What's important to me? That was me. What's important to me? It has the old school California plates
Yeah.
and new tires. It has manual windows and door locks, which manual windows I like.
Oh,
manual
yeah.
door locks suck. Completely stock. Let me repeat that. Completely bone stock.
Not when I get my hands on it, baby.
174,000 miles and counting. Now, my criticisms on this ad, his description's actually very to the point, right? This is exactly pretty much everything that I'd like to know. If he had a list of like recent services, I would like to know that. Let's start through the pictures here.
Actually, I beg to differ there. He's
But it's
just
so
being the
hard.
smart. No, he's being the smart seller. He's using that as like, hopefully, in my imagination, that's the information he holds for when he talks to you
Sure.
in person for the serious buyer. He's not just going to hand that out to
Fact.
some like because like what if you one of you nerds on a whim's like, oh, I wonder if I could really get this today, and he gets stuck talking to you on the phone about service records. And you don't end up buying it because you weren't really serious to begin with. He's, in my imagination, he's using that as his leverage.
That's fair. I don't know if that was his intent, but that is
Right.
fair. I guess now I probably wouldn't do that either. I would just say I have service records.
Service records
agreed.
upon request.
So that
In
if he had said I have service records, that would probably at this point be the only thing that I would like to see. Let's move on to the pictures.
What a dash.
So this he could have at least put a little more attention into cleaning the floor mats.
And the dusty dash.
I
No
don't know if
cracks in the
it's dusty
dash
or
though.
just-
That's big.
No cracks.
That's
That's
big.
true.
Well,
It
okay.
is
Also,
used.
is that sun fade or is that dust?
Yeah, I think it's sun fade.
Okay.
No, I think that's just the
He-
angle of
He
the
cares
light.
about this thing. He has the
Who might be
Right.
little-
Yeah. The
Red.
what is it? U
The-
steering wheel lock.
the steering wheel
God.
lock thing, right? It is manual, confirmed, blue interior, which looks good with
And
the white. Next,
Also, wait, hold on for the other car nerds out there.
do you
It's
have the
it's
mic on?
I do. It is in neutral. It is not in gear, so he parks it lovingly, and that also means he has the parking brake tuned and serviced to actually
Oh
hold it.
yeah, because it's barely up, so it's
Right,
It's
so
on
like
We don't
this-
know if he's on a hill.
Right, but what I'm saying is
He's
even
on
on
the
flat ground, like that's you're still trusting, right? That
True,
you're-
100%.
So like it should be serviced enough theoretically.
I'm gonna be honest. I never park my stick shift
Got
cars
bucks.
in neutral.
You can. So that is not. Go back.
Second.
That is a separation in the trim. That is not a crack. That is how the trim is looking. It is
Nice. Pretty
perfectly
good.
Fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Little
Right,
rust
you can
under
see
there,
a
though.
Little rust, right? But for $5,700,
57.
57.
we're still
yeah.
looking
Got me beat.
really
Glad
good,
you-
right? Next, that
It's a
is
crack.
the only thing. It is a crack right above the headlight on the bumper.
And some sun fading. But you can find those like little
You can have those powder
covers
coats.
so
You can
quick.
plastic dip it if you want.
No, not the bumper cover, the crack part.
Oh,
You can
yeah,
find
yeah.
those
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a junkyard CRX. Easy.
Maybe. If you
Easy.
go to.
I don't know. Ooh.
Maybe
No,
not
you
here,
can.
but-
You,
Finding
yeah,
online easy, not finding locally.
Yeah.
Let's be
Sure.
honest. I mean,
He's right.
depending on where you live,
You
right?
need
Like, this
any
is-
year.
Remember, this is the internet, so like depending on where you live, like it might be an internet thing, but it's
Any
not
year
Nah.
past 1986 to when they stopped making
There's-
those, that
there's
part will
what-
fit.
This is how everybody's going to see the car here. It's walking down the sidewalk.
It's
you
a
know.
beautiful car.
It definitely looks daily driven. You don't feel bad about driving it. It
But you're
already
like,
has
oh, that's a clean
74,000
CRX.
miles. It is clean. None of that door trim is missing, by the way. And how about you notice that? Next. Look at that. You're driving down the road. That's what you see.
Fuck, where is this car?
here in California somewhere.
Oh, it's down here.
San
The map's right here.
Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. Yeah.
Oh god, I
Why
want it
don't you
so
go take a
bad.
look?
You know
Okay,
what though?
sounds-
All right, so here's some wise shopping tips to do. If you are, and this is not to judge anywhere where anyone lives, like you should do this regardless of where it is. But San Bernardino, and if you're a Californian, can have some rough neighborhoods. So doing a VIN check on your own time is always a suggestible thing. Making sure the car doesn't have any police reports or theft or
Theft.
stolen, or anything like that, and also tells you any sort of salvage history. What if it says it's a good title, but it's actually been salvaged and they haven't changed it over yet? Things like that. So
Which we
do your
run
due diligence
into
whenever you buy any car. Don't get so
daily.
wrapped up in it.
If you are selling your car, or if you are buying your car, even for $3,000, spend the $30 and get the full report. Know
Yeah.
what you're getting into, right? You don't want to be the one that's surprised when the potential buyer of your car brings up the fact that this had a salvage disposition on the title,
That's
whether or not it's salvage or not.
another thing. If you want to get your car to sell quick, invest that $30. You'll be able to just pull that out when anybody comes look at your car, be like, here, I have the Carfax, take a look. And they'll be like, oh, great. And that'll put so much confidence in them purchasing your vehicle.
For sure.
Less
That
haggling. That
You will
way.
have
Yeah.
less haggling, you will have less, tire kickers. Somebody comes out, sees your car, sees the Carfax, sees it's clean, they're gonna drop that money in your hand, and you and them will both be happy people.
You will look like you know exactly what you're doing.
I would also love to compliment this seller on their photos.
Their photos are
Yeah.
good.
Their photos are
good.
great. They're
not-
centered.
They're not.
Perfect.
I should go through them one more time. So you got
They're
the
not.
front, left quarter, then the back seat. Right? They're not like that's the
Their
only thing.
photos are
But he
set
has
up in
every
a
angle.
walk around.
Yeah.
So in order, as you walk around the car is how you were seeing these photos. Start at the front,
Yeah.
work your way from the left front to the right front, from the right front to the right side to right back, and so on.
Just literally
And also
walk
choosing-
around in a circle and take photos of the car. Get the right front, get the right side, right rear, left side, left front, front.
You're doing this
Done.
so much faster than I would have done it. Thank you, Andrew.
And then he
The
has
interior shots
photos,
are great.
which I cannot tell you how many people do not have those. Please take photos.
Open
of
the
your
door.
interior. It is the part that you drive in. People want to see what it looks
Here's
like.
the easiest way to take photos of your interior. Okay? Open the door, put the camera essentially aiming down from where the seat belt hooks into the top of the door,
Oh yeah.
and just snap a photo, both sides.
Yep, that's what this guy did.
That's exactly what this guy did.
So
His
this-
camera angle is
all the way
from
out.
yep,
This
0.5, baby,
How much money?
for you
Chuck?
iPhone owners out there.
$5,700.
$5,700. Let's go to the next.
Good choice.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
This is, I mean, starting off
That-
strong.
Yeah,
that is
we
what,
have a lot
that's
to-
a bargain.
We have a lot to,
All right, whose
keep
Honda
up
CRX
with.
is this?
That's David's.
I knew
Let's
someone
hear it.
else was gonna pick this car.
Baby.
You fool!
Foolish maybe, but I don't know how much you can trust an odometer that rolls over or at least has the capacity
I
to.
think these had 6 by this time.
They did.
Here's the thing. Oh,
Toyota.
they might have. I like this one a great deal. Why? The color and it's fitting to the Hot Wheel
What
model.
is the color?
It's like a light blue-ish color.
Baby blue metallic.
Yes.
This is post facelift.
And it's
Yep.
post
What year is
facelift.
this?
It's an
88?
88. It's in San Diego. Apparently, it's still available. Even though when I looked this up, it was a while ago.
This one has also been up for a long while.
Yes.
92,000
Not more than a
miles.
month. I'm talking like
Do I think you
That's
can
what I
offer this guy a solid $6,500 in a handshake? Maybe. But let me tell you, it's got the cool single bar taillight, and I like that a great deal. It's not all
window,
original.
right?
He put
How
in
much is
some
it, Dave?
new. It's $8,000
Or
to start
best
with.
offer.
Or best offer.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that would be a good deal for both you guys because it's newer than Andrew's
Taking
and
off
it
points,
doesn't look
taking
quite
off
so rusty.
points, taking off
What's-
points,
it's not
automatic
original?
transmission.
Oh, you're right.
Automatic transmission for $8,000. You are buying a
just-
mileage friendly boring box
So,
is what you're buying.
this guy.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna give this guy points for his photography. He took,
Oh, it's
he took
incredible.
photos almost
He has
exactly
a
as
drone.
we described before, and an aerial shot straight down to the top of the car, which is totally unhelpful.
Right.
But it's very cool.
But points off for no interior.
Points
No
off for no
interior.
interior.
I would
He has
agree.
he took all this effort and he can't even fly his drone
Right.
into the interior of the car.
Here I
That's
am.
a drone
Here's the
shot.
thing,
I can
Andrew.
fit my fat ass through the window of that car. This guy can't fit a drone through there? Come on.
I got other people with interior photos. I'm not gonna drop $8,000.
No, here's the
I'm not gonna
thing.
drop it if I don't even know what it looks like on
You're
this.
right. He's asking for people who are like me to be like, I want to see what this CRX is all about. But you know damn well I'm not gonna buy it. But like if
Yeah,
the
you
interior,
wasted your money on
like
the Mercedes.
I go,
Yeah, because it's $8,000.
hey, take it easy, all right?
Like that,
Shit's
that
nice.
guy's got 92,000 miles, but I think at this point, if you see any CRX that is in remotely okay shape, it's been well maintained.
Right. Which,
me, Albert,
yeah,
in the
that's a valid
microphone.
point. Yeah, if you see one, it's probably going to be good, and if it's an old Honda, it's going to be good. You'll be fine.
This
But
could
like,
be plus or minus points depending on how you feel about originality. But the head unit and speakers have been replaced with modern Kenwood systems.
It's
So,
okay with me.
that I'm okay with that.
When
okay
it's
with
quality
that. I agree.
product, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kenwood's good.
If it's done well, I don't.
Yeah,
it's just the
It
radio.
really sucks when
JBL.
all you have is a fuck tape deck.
Okay. On that point, my Previa started out with a 3-disc in-dash CD changer, which I
Wow.
quickly replaced for, let's say, a third of what I spent on the vehicle itself for a
Original.
No, radio with a no. It had that was original.
Oh,
what I
sorry.
took out was
It's got a
original.
touchscreen
I
dash.
now have touchscreen Apple CarPlay, which driving to San Francisco or beyond to Washington or elsewhere is, let me tell you, worth every
All right.
penny.
Let me ask you opinion real quick. Just real quick. Should I put a new radio
No.
in the SL?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay, that's just what
Nope.
I was just
Just
expecting.
get. It doesn't have an aux cable thing. Right?
I gotta get that Bluetooth connector thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Here's
the
the
first one
thing.
that didn't work, that's when I knew my fuses were broken.
Here's the
because
difference,
it
David.
didn't work.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Yep, tell me.
Okay. My
Thanks,
car
fellas.
is a Previa.
Yep.
It is meant. I drive it for road trips. That's essentially why I bought it. You can
Right.
sleep in it. You can drive it around. It goes anywhere. It runs forever. It doesn't die. Right. So long drives, you want a stereo. You drive your SL 500 Mercedes from 2000 on the weekends when you want to experience the drive.
Yeah.
You have some CDs. It's very period correct.
Yeah. Car
That's part of the like
That is
appeal of it.
I agree.
Is like you're getting in
100%.
that car to
Time
experience a time and experience like
Yeah.
something special.
Andrew and
I
I did that in my Mustang too, before it sadly got,
A-tracks.
yeah, it had the original 8-track player in it that worked when I got it, and it was.
Period.
yeah.
Correct.
Me
Yeah.
with my Ford Explorer, I'm gonna put a better sound system in it because I'll tell you.
But that's a go anywhere vehicle.
But that is because I'm going to take it long distance, right?
Plus,
You're never
And it's
gonna
right here.
you're never gonna put a nice stereo in your Neon.
It's already nice with my little headphone thing.
Yeah, it's a head. It's not even. It's a
Sounds
head.
like a
headphones that
$10,000
says
headphone.
all
We
it
could cut
needs
this
to
whole
say.
thing, but I
we're getting off
appreciate
track.
this whole thing,
We're getting off
fellas.
track. So, how do you feel about this car? Would you even go look at this car?
No.
No.
I would say
No.
Andrew's still in the lead.
Andrew's still winning
Andrew's
for
still
sure,
winning.
and he's gonna
All
win
right.
this one.
Especially
This is
hindsight.
mine.
Let's look at
Benny,
Benny.
come on, let's go.
Mine.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got for
And
us?
here we go.
Ooh.
Best color a CRX ever came in.
Good wheels. Good aftermarket
Okay,
wheels.
That's
so
an
this
opinion.
is a green. It's like a
It's all right.
bright green.
A
It's
sequence?
very clean looking.
Oh.
It's at a dealer, so the photos are good. They're not some like schmuck photos.
Oh, okay, I thought that was a 1.
Aftermarket wheels, little alloys, period correct looking. I don't know what brand they are.
Good
Photos
year.
all around. Also, it's $7,999.
$8,000.
It's got good interior shots, two-tone seats. It's a stick,
looking a
unlike
little,
David's is.
It's looking a little.
It's tired. It's definitely tired.
There's a hole in the.
Some
left
of
side
the-
this
It
driver.
could be
Oh,
refurbished.
Part of the seats are not the same color as the rest of the seats,
You
but
could use a detail. Get the little
part
grease.
of the seats are the same color as the center console.
It's all-
She's all right.
It's
complete.
it's a nice car. It's a 1990, so it's one of the later ones. Probably
Unloaded
they've worked out all the kinks by then. 181,000 miles though, not ideal. Highest mileage of all of them so far.
Okay.
I
Five
think
speed?
the photos are great. 5-speed manual.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's located in Kingsport, Tennessee at HD Motors. It's on Auto Trader. I think this has also been for sale for quite a moment.
Indeed.
But yeah, I think honestly Andrew won this
So
one.
maybe
My
I could
car's
be
cool,
wrong
but
here
like
because
Yeah.
his is better.
earlier I said be prepared to add an extra 0, but we're finding pretty good examples, well under 10 grand.
Yeah.
Granted, I think the best upside, especially compared to David's here, is
The
that
seats
you
aren't
can-
ideal.
Yeah, no, they've
But
got-
you could all
They're not
most
the
people
But
worst.
you can finance this.
yeah,
If you were not
it'll get repoed from you in 3
financially
months if you're like a
responsible.
penny
You could
short.
finance it.
Doesn't
Or if you
have a
really wanted this
radio.
car and you were financially
We're
responsible,
lacking a radio, but again,
Yeah.
the driving experience. You all you want to hear is the VTEC on this baby. So
Yeah.
I think this is a great
This
car.
is
The buttons are
looking.
kind
It's a little rough, but
Hang
Yeah,
on.
you put some nice Recaros in this, or some nice bride seats. Yeah,
They put all
This
the
this one's
attention
for the
into
Honda
it.
nerd.
Were you talking
Yeah.
about mine?
And that's-
This is also an automatic.
it's not it's a 5-speed. You see those 3 pedals,
it's
baby?
5-speed.
Learn to count.
I didn't see the pedals. I just saw that. I was like, never mind. Yep.
So I win.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but here's
I
the
mean,
thing,
mine's not
so-
carbureted. That's
Wait, whoa, whoa, oh my
sweet,
God,
sweet
what's that?
fuel injection.
Oh, lots of. Here's the thing. So
That's,
the
coolant.
The W goes to Andrew on the purchase of the vehicle.
Yeah.
But when it comes to photos, I give Benny the win, only because there's engine bay. Now the engine bay looks a little poor.
Toasted.
Not gonna lie.
But it's honest.
But it's honest, yeah. And here's the thing, though. So like, this has been up for a while, so this guy is gonna haggle.
Yeah.
Is it gonna come down a lot?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know this guy.
This is a 55 to 6 grand,
realistically.
5,500 to 6 grand. car.
Yeah. This is a really, really excellent.
You go to this guy with
wholesale
cash,
retail sort of example.
and you're at 6
Sitting in
grand.
between.
Now mine apparently has lower miles, but it's also an automatic, and like it's nice, but like
Yeah, Andrew
Andrew
won.
one. Andrew one.
Yeah.
It's got the trim. It's got the
That's all I
overall.
needed. Now, if anyone listening here happened to buy one of these cars, get in touch with us. Let us know how badly it went.
Or how great in the case of my
It's a Honda.
CRX.
It'll be fine.
I have all the confidence in that vehicle. All you need is a Y-wire tuck, you're good to go.
Now let's hit up honorable mentions and bloopers real fast. I have one that has been
Oh, okay.
a buzz
Oh.
in the automotive community. We've been talking about it at the office. Where is it?
Wait. This is the bring a trailer.
What?
Yeah.
We're going into, okay, so we're going into our bring a trailer bloopers right now.
Bloopers. Let's bring it up. Yeah. we
Yeah?
can
No, we're
forget about
not?
that. 'Cause
Chuck's
this is a good
just-
one. I want to fire off with this one if I can find it. Where did I put it?
Andrew's got copy, bro.
I have copy.
Yes. Yeah. I'm adding one that's not a part of the copy.
Okay.
Yeah. This
Then,
one.
you
This
know
is
what?
a curveball. We're
Oh.
throwing. Here it is. Here
Oh, get
man.
that
Yeah, here she is.
I almost
Turn it
picked
off.
this.
I don't want to see it. This is ridiculous.
It is, and that's why we're going to mention it.
No, I don't want.
Chuck-
This is. We're not
Chuck,
even
you should have
there
mentioned
yet.
this after we
We're
were
not
on
even
the.
there yet.
My
This
bad.
isn't a classified.
Because yours is way better.
Get out of here. Be patient.
All right, Zane, cut this shit. I'm kidding.
No, yeah, if we need to do it.
Serious.
No, you got to be at the end because yours is for sure the best
Yeah,
one.
you're gonna
You
just
won.
drop dick on
You
all
won,
of us.
Chuck. I didn't pick it. Benny didn't pick it. You got to be like, here's an honorable mention. I won, bitch. Bam. Drop the GTI on this moment. That's what I'm saying.
Don't cut this.
Bitch.
Now,
Bam.
Unfuck this thing. Unfuck
as
this.
my script, yes, I have a script, says, now everyone's favorite consortium of fools parting with cash for objects that don't know how to love them back because they are cars, it is time for our Bring a Trailer Picks of the Week.
Bring a trailer bloopers, if you will.
And in brackets, I have, yes, now we talk about
I got the links.
these.
I got the links. Who wants to go first?
Very nice.
Whoever you want, just pick one.
All right,
Like we
we're
did
gonna
with-
go with.
All of them were good
Hopefully.
for different reasons.
This is Dave.
Oh, David, this
All right.
is you first.
Okay, here we go. I picked a I forgot what color it was. Technically.
Oh,
It's a
now you remember.
Lava Orange FJ Cruiser. It's a 2014, which I feel like is a very late one.
That's true.
They are, I don't know, I just never thought an FJ was like super cool. I feel like I knew this girl in high school who drove around in one. I was just like, that's cool, but like it's an FJ Cruiser, but like
got
can it
two
really
wipers.
can it really go off road? Like what is it like unless you like lift it up and do a bunch of stuff? Like is it really an off road vehicle or does it just look like an off road vehicle? It's like you're taking like I don't know. I'm thinking like the Top Gear in Colombia one that Hammond drove is like an FJ, and I'm like, this isn't really
He does a
it.
good job of selling this to us.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the buyer overspent. It's a blooper. He spent 42 grand on it. So that's what I'm saying.
$42,000.
And this was like what? A couple days ago? What? It was yesterday. It sold
41,000
yesterday for
miles.
40.
Oh, okay.
41,000 miles. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
I understand. But like
I mean,
still,
I
I think this thing
42
is
for it.
30.
And David,
Yeah,
you are
30
incorrect.
sounds about
It is
right.
magma paint.
Magma. I'm sorry.
Magma.
Wow.
Magma.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, it's magma paint. It's got all the stuff. It looks good for an FJ, and it's a later one. But like spending 42 grand was this thing?
That
The
was
thing
a
was
lie.
probably close to 42 grand when it was new.
Again,
It was
this
way
was
less
one
than
of
42
you
grand.
two that had the money for their Toyota or Honda fleet.
I would never, ever, ever, ever,
Buy
ever,
an
ever,
FJ.
ever buy an
This is
FJ.
at least
Cruiser.
10 grand.
I would buy plenty of
I agree.
This is the Toyota nerd that does appreciate this.
This is like a
or maybe
Toyota
this is all
nerd that's
No,
16.
I have another fun
who just
fact
has
about this.
YouTube money
In the
coming out his
bidding-
asshole.
The guy who lost, I had already bought like 3 FJs on here, and he has an obsession for the 1999 BMW M5. He spent like 19 grand on a very clean example one. I don't know. It's just
bargain.
kind of very
Yeah,
interesting.
that's
He
fair.
it was like a really low mileage. Like
You know,
ooh.
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
is cool.
nice.
This
It
is
was very
the
nice.
influence of
Yeah.
us playing these car video games as kids, and now these are people that are either our peers or around our age, or a little older, a little younger, that are like, check it out, I got the money and I can play real life video game and buy the car that has always been like, you know, like you play Gran Turismo, Forza, or whatever, you know, and you're like, if I could own that one day.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Or you
And
buy
like
Hot Wheels.
and
This
it's
is a
not like
poor
a
example of it. This is a poor example of it, but
Yeah,
it's cool.
this guy's got a very interesting collection of stuff. He had like a really modified one. And he was like trying to get like a really clean example.
I think he thinks he's gonna appreciate, and
He didn't get it. He
It's not
ended up
going to
losing.
appreciate from that.
He ended up like
Not
backing
everyone
out.
feels like some people are literally willing to throw away. Like,
so the problem is, these will continue to appreciate, especially at this mileage. The problem is he spent an extra 10 grand on this asset.
yeah, all right.
Right.
What do we got next?
He's got to wait on it.
Let's go with this one. I think.
This is mine,
Okay,
yep.
shit.
So I have picked a 1977 Chevrolet Chevette. It sold February 5th. Today is February 8th-ish. And it sold for an astounding Anders over here about to throw up his
my
insides. It sold for an astounding $21,000. 5,000 miles showing. A 1.6 liter inline four from the worst era of automotives ever. The gas crisis of the 70s.
Yep, I'm
The
on.
Chevrolet Chevette, if you are unaware, is an Econobox, the basest of the base. It's the equivalent of an Aveo.
This looks like a Russian pacer.
Yeah, it is. So the reason I picked
Cold
this
War
car,
vibes.
other than the fact that it sold for $21,000, which this car sticker, if you scroll down a ways, is. Let's get there, and I will tell you. Stop. Go up. $5,061 new. They spent $21,000 on the most mediocre of vehicles ever made. My dad had one of these. It was his first car. He drove it from New York to Arizona because that's what Jews do when they don't want to go to Florida, is they go to Arizona. So he drove it from New York to Florida, Queens, New York City to Florida, or to Phoenix, Arizona.
There you go.
It had a rusted through floor. He could Flintstone this shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a tin can at best, okay? Like, this is a Campbell soup can of a vehicle. And somebody spent new, like, you could buy a couple new cars for 21 grand. You could buy an obscene amount of way cooler cars than this for 21 grand that aren't new. And somebody spent 21,000 of their hard-earned dollars on this monstrosity of just gas crisis disaster. And
If
I'm
this isn't
ashamed.
too
What if
offensive-
this is the memory of like a single hardworking mom?
Nope,
that
nope,
he
nope,
drove in
nope,
the back?
nope. My
This
dad
dad-
had
this dad
one. It
gave
was
me
his
a
first car.
stroke.
He
This is a bad car.
he drove it. I have seen one.
Wild
that was-
example of the engine bit. Like this car is, for
It's-
whatever it's worth,
No,
it is an
very.
economy
it's
box.
not.
It is.
Look at that. You have rust
The front. I'm not talking
below
about
the
the frame.
radiator. Rust below the radiator. Look at this. Look down. You can rub oil all over the top of the engine all you want. It's not gonna trick me.
Yeah, it's
You have an oxidized to hell steering rack. You can't even be asked to clean the back of your wheels. Everything behind is affected by rust because the oil flying off from the oil pan is just
Okay, but
somehow.
let's also remember that this is all mostly surface rust, except for this stuff that
It
you're
is.
missing. Hold on, that you're missing right up
Granted.
here on the underneath
like-
the bumper front clip. This is actually through, but it's also a thin piece of sheet metal, so like that's not
Everything here-
structural.
yes, but that whole
It's-
car is a thin piece
It
of
looks
sheet metal.
daily driven.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this for whatever it's worth.
The
Okay.
interior was reupholstered, but
It's
whatever.
not worth a lot. We could all agree that it should have sold for the original 5,000 if anything. It probably should have sold for a lot less, but
This O'Donnell,
This-
it's 5,000 miles. This car, it's not a 5,000 mile Chevrolet Chevette. It's a 5,000 miles shown Chevrolet
It's a
Chevette. Meaning this is
105,000 mile
rolled over.
Chevrolet Chevette.
Yeah, somebody got it a decent one stage paint job.
Somebody got
Put some
fucking
like
tricked.
yeah, like somebody bought this car for $21,000. That's all. We can go on to the next one now.
All right, let's
That's all I
look
wanted
at-
to say.
So the last one will have to end up being, what is this?
I'll say right now, Benny,
You won.
wow,
Good job.
I died.
I'm sorry.
I
did,
I
yeah.
gagged, I threw up.
That's
Amazing. That is truly awful.
That's a
Now,
blooper.
I got to the featured page to look for a blooper. Instead, this is exactly what the photons emitted to my eyes. I had to talk about it.
It's
It is
beautiful.
a 36,000 mile 1987 Ford Mustang, that's a Fox body, Saline hatchback, 5-speed manual.
Oof.
This thing is cherry.
For sure, yeah.
It has the Ford emblem on the right side of the car, so you know it's good. What do we got? We have a Momo steering wheel, flow fit front seats, a Hurst shifter, and a Kenwood CD stereo. That sucks. The car was also optioned with air conditioning and a pop-up glass sunroof, and MagnaFlow mufflers are installed. This Saline Mustang shows 36,000 miles, and is offered with. This is definitely a 36,000 mile car, by the way.
Yeah.
Just look at it. It is offered with a window sticker. It's 36,000 miles. A binder of historical documents, an escort radar detector, spare side strips in case you lose the ones on there already, a clean Carfax report, and a clean Arizona title in the seller's name.
you
It
missed the
sold-
most important part of this, Andy.
What?
It's number 45 of 280 examples.
Well,
Wow.
that's not a special number, but
Still, well, depending on how many are left. I
245
mean, it's not like we know how many are
from the
left.
shooter.
so-
Yeah, exactly. Right? You're probably looking at maybe 100.
This is a clean.
So this is
Wow, I cannot get over how much I love the Porsche 944. I dream of bashing and curb stomping the head of a 944 just to have this car.
I also love the wheels on this. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for
I
That's
that.
the
cannot get
wheel.
over
That's
the
not a
wheels.
wheel.
The wheel to tire proportion is just.
And the suspension is not
Like,
Are
sagging
you
at
being
all.
sarcastic, Andrew? Because everything
No.
you're saying
No.
right now, I'm 100%
Yes,
agreeing with.
No, I'm not being
This is not in
sarcastic.
this car.
This thing is perfect.
It
No,
is.
he's not being dry for
It is
once.
perfect.
It's the best.
And I can have it if I had $69,501.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the eBay snipe.
But,
This
but
man or woman or whoever is a happy person.
scroll down
I
to who
would
bought
I would
this.
drive this into
Wait.
the hole I was
But
born.
here's the
interior
problem.
It
is
is
immaculate.
so.
Oh,
No,
it's
it
got
is
those
perfect.
tennis racket
Perfect.
headrests.
Yes,
Oh my
the tennis
God.
racket headrest. Everything
Oh, look
you
at
could
this.
possibly want.
Look, it's
Everything.
so-
45 of how many?
280.
200
Autograph
something.
dash. I don't know by who.
Everything.
Probably
Look at
the
this.
guy
By
who
Saline.
owns Saline.
By Saline.
Yeah, but I don't know his
Autograph
name.
Look at
Okay,
that.
so this is a great car. And I
This is
think
a sexy machine.
honestly, I think
Look
I
at
passed
this.
this car when I was looking for this segment.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a bad price for that car.
Exactly. I thought the same thing. I was like, this. The buyer would be like, "Ooh, I just spent
This
almost
is
70 grand on
this
that."
is
No,
some
absolutely not. Because I saved money on my coffin.
Yeah.
this
I
is
don't have
this
to
is
buy a coffin
what I,
anymore.
this
This
is
is
what I
my
was gonna
coffin.
say.
Yeah, sure.
This
You
is
have to remember that this is a Mustang.
this is a 60
Fox body
this is a 68 to 70-year-old man who has a collection of Mustangs in a shed somewhere that gets cold in the winter,
you're right.
and
In Missouri,
it just has
Montana. Yeah.
inside of this warehouse of their fucking
That's
Mustang
heated, mind
collection.
you, heated.
It just has old vintage gas pumps and
Yes.
the like service
Mustang,
here
yeah.
signs
Your
from the
local Jay Leno.
60s.
Your local
Yes,
Jay
Leno.
yes, exactly. And it's parked next to a 65 or whatever,
Like a Mach 1.
Are
Shelby,
you talking about an Austin
Hertz.
Sprite?
No, like a GT350H. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it
Some
is.
the guy who bought this is just a Mustang collector. That I would like bet
Yeah.
my
He
left.
has a couple
eye.
of Thunderbirds.
My favorite thing is
Yes.
that
He
if
has a
I'm
couple of
when I'm
Thunderbirds,
driving,
but he
so
has
that
a-
means I can drive it when I can buy it.
And I bet you
Yes.
he's got a Cadillac that he drives on the side.
That's
top
a
down.
sick
No,
car.
Chuck. He
This
doesn't have
guy-
a Cadillac. He has an Edsel.
This
Oh,
guy,
God, yes.
this guy is
Yes.
going to have this 1987 Mustang Saline hatchback 5-speed parked right next to his 1987 Mercury ASC McLaren Capri.
Ooh, I can see that.
I know
You-
who that guy is.
I'm picturing this guy's
You
garage
listeners
right
do
now.
not understand. You have to find this car. It is listing 1987-Ford-Mustang-Saline.
Backslash.
It is perfect.
It's
Ignore the rust
minty.
on the door sill. Perfect.
Honestly, that is so far away with my bad eyesight that I thought that was wood grain. Not
And like also, I thought
It
that shit's on fiber. Like, that looks like it's on
gorgeous.
fiberglass. It looks like it rubbed off from the bottom of the door, just
Yeah.
on that
Oh yeah,
spot.
probably.
Yeah, whatever that is
Like,
up to debate.
It's
but
an old girl.
But here's the
But
thing, yeah,
like,
it's
it's
been
beautiful.
stored good enough that you don't see body sag. There's no suspension sag. This
Well,
sits
the door
neat
thing
and
would
clean.
indicate body sag.
This is a good example, like you said, Andrew, of a 1980s Coyote Fox body pony. She is gorgeous, and I would say that she wins. Okay, but an honorable mention that I've been dying to fucking talk about is this ridiculous thing that's been going around the internet. Is this 92 Volkswagen Golf GTI? Yeah, everyone get it out now.
Let me tell you,
What?
it is a Mark II.
Yeah,
It has the little.
It is the
reflectors in
cool
bumper.
one.
Yeah.
It does have.
I
like
fan
it.
of them. It's
That-
clean, it's gorgeous,
It's
but
got the
here's thing.
BBS wheels.
So
Oof.
This
it's
is
sold. Are you guys
Yeah, that's
seatbelted,
obscene.
strapped in, ready for this? $87,000. It's a '92 Mark II. Okay,
I almost
$87,000.
picked this.
Yeah, we all did. We all knew about this.
53,000 miles. You know,
This is a daily driver. This is not a museum example that could potentially get 87K. This is a daily driver. This is
with
something that
53,000 miles, you think it's a daily driver?
yeah, in the sense of it was stored after it was used as one.
Yeah.
Okay, so like
Okay.
this could have city and highway
But this-
miles. This could have all sorts of rust underneath. It was stored after it was used and could be tarted up. I mean, it looks clean.
Oh.
but
This
here's the
guy
thing.
has all the best options.
It does.
the
but that's
BBS
why I got
wheels.
into a bidding war with two Volkswagen nerds.
Oh right.
That's what ran this bill up. So it like after it hit like 40 to 45K, it just became a bidding war between two people. And then it
Scroll down to the
The
bid.
comments.
The yeah.
oh,
where
the
they-
comments
bid
will be
comments.
unhinged, I'm sure.
Bro, 646 comments. That like puts all of ours combined, and like
This is
all
getting
of
out of
ours were like
hand.
kind of crazy.
Great trailer has no oversight.
This comment has been flagged as non-constructive,
Remember, it takes two to create this type of insanity.
and it did.
This comment has been flagged as
I
non-constructive.
feel like all these ones that are flagged as non-constructive are like, what the fuck are you people doing? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, no, because it's not.
donate your
constructive to
money,
bring
you
it
crazy
straight-
people.
Is this real life? Comment has been flagged as non-constructive right
Every
after.
other one has been flagged as non-constructive because it's like, stop bidding on this.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
This is
So
a
Volkswagen nerds.
a tax haven
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, here's the thing, Volkswagen nerds, like I'm one of them, and if I had money, I would readily almost throw that much at it. But if we want to protect
Well, that is why I
these
would
cars,
consider you a
there
fool in
has
this
to be
consortium.
there has to be a balance. Like you just like, what is this?
This is like
total
this,
insanity.
this,
Admittedly, a fairly
Ad-
simple example.
and listing, and this is like kind of what's the problem with Bring a Trailer, is like this has made Golf GTIs unobtainium.
Yes.
Single-handedly.
Especially anything, Mark
This
III,
ad, now every single one from here on out, people are going to be throwing these
Oh, yeah.
into
Yeah.
like Bonhams auctions and shit because they all
Oh,
want to get on in on the
man.
Here's the
Radwood
thing,
like
the 80s is
train.
about to have its time. They're just the
Oh, it's
Volkswagen
been
Golf is
having
leading the
its
charge.
time.
This
They-
is what it is.
No,
It's about time.
They-
Like think about the Chevette that got 21K a second ago. It shouldn't be, but it did. So
my
you know.
Mercedes that looks like it's from the 80s, but I spent too
David,
much money
you are
on
a
it.
Bring a Trailer blooper.
But all right.
All right, on to the.
That was fun. Let's get on to the race schedule for this upcoming 7 days. Chuck, can you take it on from here?
Also,
so
for our
it's-
listeners, today
it's-
is the 8th of February, 2023.
There's
Sorry,
not a lot
Chuck,
coming up. It's all
continue.
good.
My bad.
There's a lot coming up for the weekend. So nothing from the 13th at all. The first race is going to be NASCAR. It looks like on the 16th, NASCAR Cup Daytona Duels. We have the 17th NASCAR Truck, 18th NASCAR Xfinity Daytona as well. Truck was also Daytona. 19th we have the 4 hours of Abu Dhabi, so that is Le Mans. That is going to be a little bit interesting, but I'm sure it's going to be standard issue stuff. Abu Dhabi is a pretty big fast circuit, so it is what it is. And
Not a
then
lot of
the
crashes.
19th we have NASCAR Cup Daytona 500, and that's rounding out your weekend. That's pretty much it for races.
The
Not a whole
Daytona-
lot other than NASCAR.
And you can probably find all these to watch on ESPN, maybe Motor Trend.
Fox.
Look for it
Yes.
yourself.
ESPN, yeah. And then you also have your NASCAR channel. There, if
Yeah.
you have, out there in the country, y'all, you got your good, you got a good satellite, you got your good cable, you got a NASCAR channel. So,
They got a channel for everything.
yes, sir.
Dude, out there in the country, they have satellites bigger than NASA. It's unreal.
Alrighty, so
That
wrapping it up.
concludes our first episode of the I Know What I Got cast. Thank you, Ben and
You're welcome.
David.
Yes,
Who was
sir.
born second. Thanks to our producer Chuck.
Yes, thank you.
I would
Thank
like
you,
to
fellas.
thank Zane for producing
Thank you,
The
Zane. We
sound
love you,
engineer,
Zane.
he's
just our pro.
mixologist. Yeah, he's our pro. He's gonna go through and figure out
making
where all
us
these.
sound good
Yes.
in the pilot and this episode. I am your host, Andrew, and co-producer for what it's worth. Thank you all for listening. We will see you in our Barbio episode coming up pretty much right after this. Bye!
Oh, also, and Ford was voted, once again, best vehicle rated, yada yada, sold. F-150s. Bleh.
And if you're looking to sell anything else, call Carvio. Look online, carvio.com. We are here for you. We want to get you paid. We can get your car picked up in 2 days. Costs you nothing. All you got to do is call us. We'll give you money.
Jingle it again.
All right, another jingle.
There we
So,
go.
does your Camaro not go like an arrow? Then restock your quiver with Carvio. We buy it as simple as 1, 2, cash.
Woo! Take it home, baby!
Shock!
Yes, sir.
Killing it!
For real, bye!